I remember it like it was yesterday. You know what you don't want to feel anymore. Trapped in a career you hate, having no free time to even read a book, being limited on options because of finances, waking up every day feeling blah, doing the same uninspiring routine, seeing no end in sight. The frustration comes because you don't know where to even start to make a change, what steps to take to create a better life for yourself. Then this leaves you feeling even more overwhelmed and hopeless. I remember everyone looked like they had their stuff together and life purpose figured out. Meanwhile, I was stuck on Lost Island, willing to do the work, but having no clear guidance on where to even start. And here's what I wish someone told that Tiffany back then. Instead of worrying about finding your purpose, your calling, what you're meant to do in this world, I want you to focus on serving a purpose, and then your purpose will serve you.
If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multi-millionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it.
What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that will absolutely help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. Whew, I am in the feels. Everything has caught up to me from all of the extra doing that was required for moving, all of the doing that was required after going mega viral, all of the triggers that I've been managing, the emotions, all the things. Wow. And even good stuff, you guys, good things that are happening. Those of you who've procreated and have children, I mean, that's a beautiful miracle of life that happens, but it's a lot. And even though I'm in a place that I was supposed to be in, I'm meant to be in, I'm literally staring at the waves crashing in so close I could like reach out my arm and touch them and hear the waves in the background while I'm recording. And my nervous system feels happy here, even though all the work that I have been doing on releasing my blocks and releasing my fears of being seen at another level, of having high level visibility and exposure. That was part of my resistance to even going on TikTok. That was part of my resistance in even accepting more famous guests, not high level guests, because I don't want to diminish the amazing guests that I already have. But you know what I'm saying, like high profile type guests on my show, which I've had some, but my resistance in doing that was all about my fear of being exposed and seen on a big level, because that sounded, risky and dangerous to me. And it just really triggered that PTSD stuff from childhood, and lots to unpack there. But I am a mess. I'm a mess this whole week. I've been a mess. So if you're in a messy state and then you're judging yourself because, God, I shouldn't be a mess. I just got an amazing new job, or now I'm busy. I have all these clients, like in my signature program, Selling with Soul, where we just wrapped it up. People are having double, triple the clients that they've ever had. Incredible people coming into their programs. Amazing success. But that also brings up stuff, because in our nervous system, when we get the things that we've asked for and that we want, whether it's money, whether it's fame, whether it's recognition, whether it's love, whether it's intimacy and friendships, whether it's being really seen and heard and understood by a coach, that can be triggering as well, even the good stuff, because the reason why we resisted having that stuff coming in the first place is because we've tied some meaning to that. I'm going to have to sacrifice something for that, or maybe it feels too good to be true. Like, I'm in a pinch myself moment, like where two amazing things happened to me literally in the last week, where this place that I moved into is even better than imagined. I'm paying less than I was before. And I'm not talking like $100 less, like $2,500 less. Like, this was a find. Now, did I have to go through a lot and get tested heavily to be in this place? Yes, but that wasn't about this. That was more about me and me not fully surrendering and trusting the universe to deliver me not just good, but exceptional. For me to receive the exceptional and there not to be a catch. There not to be one. And it seems like I'm almost, my nervous system is like scanning, like, okay, like what's going to happen here? Because I just keep finding better and better things in here. I said it in my posse membership on Friday, like they did a shit job advertising of this place, which was actually a benefit because that's probably why it wasn't taken. And there's a full on steam shower. Like, they didn't mention that, like a full spa level steam shower with like, I love like natural materials being in a house, like stone. I don't like a lot of fake materials. Like, I don't mind fake wood floors because of having a dog, but I like natural stone countertops. I like actual brick. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can feel the energy of those things. And this bathroom, which isn't even the primary bathroom, has like driftwood and these beautiful glass pebbles and stones. And I was like, what is this contraption thing on the wall? And I do have a steam shower at the other house. And I was like, is this a fucking steam shower in here? I'm like, this shit's fucking epic. And so my brain went, wow, I can't believe they didn't advertise this. Like, how is this happening? And then I've had this resistance. Those of you who, are longer time listeners to the show, shout out to you guys. And people in my posse membership, you guys know that I did not jump on the TikTok bandwagon. I was like, it didn't feel right to me. It felt like it was too much at the time. I was it came out obviously during the pandemic, and I was already dealing with a lot of shit in my relationship. And I just didn't have any more bandwidth. And I already put out a ton of high level, incredible content. And I didn't have any more left to give. And that's okay. We don't need to be on all the platforms and do all the things in order to bring in all the money and help all the people. In fact, when we keep trying to force a square peg into a round hole, all that ends up in is burnout, frustration, and stacking up an evidence bank of this isn't working for me. So I actually teach all of my clients in any form of my programs, less is more, but you need to have someone clearly coaching you and guiding you to do strategically less. It's not just, take my hand off the wheel and do less. No, it's like have you ever had someone tell you like a true shortcut? And any of you guys who have driven around LA or live in LA is wild. There's no rhyme or reason. It's not like New York City where everything's on a grid. It is north is west and south is east. That's all that has to be said for how wild LA is. And that was like the number one lesson I had to learn when I moved here many years ago. But I was taking this one way. I'll never forget this. I lived in the valley, and I was taking this one way to get to like all of my errands, all the places. And I think I was like complaining to someone at this coffee shop I went to, and I was like, God, it just takes forever. And then going down Ventura Boulevard, and like, then if you go during lunchtime, it's insane. And they're like, well, don't you live in North Hollywood? And I was like, yeah. They're like, why aren't you taking, I think it's like Riverside Drive or something. Like, why aren't you taking Riverside Drive? Don't you live off of that? And I was like, well, yeah, but that's like, in the, like the suburb area. And it's like, this person basically told me, no, Riverside runs parallel to Ventura Boulevard. You don't ever even have to get on Ventura Boulevard. And I had no idea. Now you guys are like, why wouldn't you have been on Waze and know this? Because this was a long fucking time ago. And newsflash, for those of you who've never had to endure trying to figure out where in the fuck you were going without GPS, let me tell you something. That shit was hard. I had to use MapQuest. That's what we had. We had MapQuest, and then we had something called a Thomas Guide. Like, I actually know how to read a map. Now that, basically I'm 1800 years old, okay? So this person, I was like, oh my God, this person just saved me. I'm not even joking you, like at least an hour a day. My point of this rant is that is the benefit of paying someone who's already done it, who's already taught it and guided, tons and tons of people at this point, because I already know, I already have the map. Now, everyone's map is a little bit different, but I can guide you to find your own map. I give you options. You can take this route, or this route. I would avoid these other 5 routes. Not good, waste of time, going to cost you a ton of, money and energy. But you have these 3 routes. Because I truly believe that if you were guided and you were directed and given options like, hey, you can do one of these 3 things, I really believe you would follow through and do it. The reason that you're stuck and you're convincing yourself you don't know what you want to do with your life, you're not sure what you should do. Is it the right niche? Are you in the right industry? Should you switch careers? What's my purpose? Is this really possible for me? Am I qualified? You get stuck in that confusion and then that overwhelm and then analysis paralysis, and nothing happens because you don't have a guide and you're operating without a guide. And would that really be a smart move? Would you, whether you live in Los Angeles or you're visiting here, you trying to get around this wild city without a guide? Let me tell you something. You'll end up not seeing anything. In fact, I don't even know where you'll end up. You could end up in the middle of a car chase in this crazy place. And I don't want to see that for you. So you have to be open and willing to pay for the guidance, to lean in. Now you're getting it here by being on the podcast for free. I give tons of free content, of course, on TikTok, on Instagram, and all the places. And my Secret Posse Weekly Digest. If you're not on that email list, you need to be on that. That's also in the show notes. But there's something different that happens when you are committing and you're paying. It makes you show up. It makes you do the damn thing. It puts it at the top of your mind. Like right now, I am strongly considering getting a gym membership, and which is crazy that I'm even saying this as a former literally workout addict, which is exercise addiction is a form of an eating disorder. I've never not had a gym membership since I was 15 until pandemic land happened. And now my membership is at a yoga studio, but I feel called to want to lift weights again. And I keep telling myself, oh, I'll do it at my house. I have weights here. I'll do it here. First of all, I hate fucking working out by myself. It's really fucking boring. I have no accountability. I can tell myself a million excuses. And as long as I'm dressed and I arrive at a yoga studio or I arrive at a destination, the likelihood of me going in at that point and actually doing the thing is very, very high. There are some times I turn around and I say, fuck it. But usually those are the days I had no business working out to begin with. But I know buying a gym membership, and not one that's like $9 a month, because that's something I can forget about, but buying like a solid gym membership, and out here they're like $200, some of them are even $250. That's going to make me show up because I don't want to waste that money. And even if I like do start kind of blowing it off, it'll be at the top of my mind that I'm blowing it off. So there's something amazing that happens when you invest. And I watch people do this inside my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership. which this is the final chance to get in on the spring mega bonus sale for new members. There are only a couple of new member spots left. They might already be gone. The page will say closed if there's no new membership spots left, and then you'll just have to keep checking back. But you get my $300 content creation course bundle. So it is making it easy. You get my content planner. You get my caption creator. Think Mad Libs, but for captions. I teach you how to do all the things, and it's the only way to access this course bundle is by getting it for free inside here. So that link is in my bio, or you can go to ProjectMe.com/ProjectMe Posse, and it's in the show notes as well. I feel like I went off on a whole thing. You guys just bear with me, okay? I'm not myself. I am definitely in an emotional hangover, and that's okay. We got to give ourselves grace, because I can't give you grace and not give myself grace. I can't give myself grace and not give you grace. So maybe part of why you're hearing this episode is today. See, I can't even talk. Maybe part of why you're hearing this episode today is to give yourself some grace that you've not been giving. So listen to this. The purpose of your life is to serve in a way that brings great joy to yourself and others. What are things you do for your family, friends, coworkers, at your church, to your neighbors that bring you great delight? Not what you're simply good at, but what you're good at and you love doing. There's a lot of shit I'm good at, even great at, but it doesn't light me up. And most of us were taught innocently by our parents, our grandparents, by society, oh, you're so good at public speaking, Tiffany, you should be a newscaster. Or you're really good at numbers, you should be an accountant. But no one ever asked, and maybe it's starting to shift in the school system, I really hope it is. How about, what do you enjoy doing? And then couple that with what you enjoy doing with also what you're good at or what you desire to learn more and get better at. So I do love communicating. I love talking. I love teaching. I love coaching. And so yeah, being, a TV newscaster, news reporter, yeah, it made sense. And I really wanted to do it until I was in it and realized how high stress it was, how it was just filled with negativity. Imagine being pumped with the news stuff. I'm sure most of you don't even watch the news anymore. It's so negative. Imagine that being your job and eating, breathing, and sleeping that. Oh my God, my cortisol, my nervous system, it was wild. But we have to try things sometimes in order to get closer to our purpose. I thought that was it because I'm a truth teller, a truth seeker. As we know in modern journalism, that's really not how it works anymore, sadly. So I learned this isn't the right environment for me, but I did like creating content, right? Like I love creating content. Who knew when I was a TV newscaster that all of that incredible training and practice on being a content creator and being a communicator and simplifying complex topics was going to make me millions of dollars someday, and doing it in a way that feels so fun and nurturing to myself. Amazing. So I loved those aspects of it, but I didn't love the negativity. I didn't love the pressure. I'm not a competitive person. I'm competitive with myself, but I'm not someone that's such a highly cutthroat competitive environment. Not a great environment for me. So take a look at different jobs that you've had or the job that you're maybe in now, whether you work for yourself, whether you work for someone else. And I want you to write down on a whiteboard, in your notes app, I don't care where. Right, and this is a fun exercise to do with a trusted friend too. Is what are things you don't like? What are things you hate about it, you don't like? And what are things you love? Maybe it's just not the right environment. Maybe it's that skill that you love, but it's not appreciated where you're at, or you're not really getting paid for it, or you're not able to do it a higher percentage of the time. And that's what it is. Maybe it's that this current job or career path or business path or niche that you're in, you're doing stuff you're good at. I hear this a lot from like my fitness folks, my fitness entrepreneurs. It's like you're good at creating like nutrition programs and workout programs for people, but that's not really what you want to do. You want to do something different with it, but you're not sure if people are going to pay you for it, and you're not sure what you can do, but you know you don't want to do this. Well, that's great. When you know what is not working for you anymore, that's getting you closer to what you want to do. So take a look at what things do I love doing at my job, in my personal life, helping people for free, in my business. What could I do over and over again that either brings me energy or brings me calm or brings me peace? And instead of your brain going, well, you can't make money just doing that. Like, you've got to do this other thing. That's going back to that belief of, I can't make great money doing what I love. I have to sacrifice and do something I don't like in order to have great success. And it's bullshit. Okay. Is it helping someone write a resume? Is that something that you delight in, like helping them find a job? Is it being a source of comfort and wisdom for people going through a tough time? Is it giving people advice on workouts? Is it helping people with the psychology of eating and emotional eating and working through that stuff? Don't concern yourself with quitting or starting new professions. Instead, follow the path of your natural desires, talents, and passions with the full intention of bringing joy to yourself and others. Your life purpose doesn't need to be clearly defined for you to have success. It's in the process of doing that we find our divine calling. I didn't know if being a podcaster, if being a business and a money mindset coach, I didn't know if this was my divine calling, but I was very, very led to it, which is why I resisted doing anything with it for 10 years. I was terrified. What if it didn't work out and I think this is my purpose and then it's not my purpose and I didn't want to be let down again, and on and on and on. And it is in my pursuit of doing this that I have started to massage and find my way. But if I hadn't have gone and tried these things, I would have never known what I like or don't like. This new one-of-a-kind mastermind that I have coming out, we will be announcing it soon, but it is called the Abundance League Mastermind, came about because of my other mastermind that I've run, I think 3 times now, which was my ProjectME 6-month mastermind experience. There was something that I wasn't quite heavily delighting in. It had nothing to do with the people. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I wasn't excited to launch it again. And if I wasn't excited to launch it again, I owed it to myself to explore it, just as I would coach you to do. And there was something in the format that wasn't working for me. There was something that wasn't quite right about it for me at this time and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to focus on. And so it turned out that I just needed to reformat, change the focus, change the duration, and move some things around. And then all the puzzle pieces put into place. But that doesn't mean it didn't serve a great purpose in my other mastermind that I had run those times. That was great, and I delighted in it at the time. But sometimes things are meant to be around for a season. Sometimes they're meant to be around for multiple seasons. Sometimes they're meant to be around for a long, long time. And you owe it to yourself to explore that and shift it and massage it. But if I sat here and went, well, what should my signature program be? What should my signature mastermind be? And I've got to have that figured out, my exact niche figured out in order for me to start and do the things and put it out there. It would never go out there. That's part of why it took me 10 years to start this. And I don't want to see that for you. I want you to really focus on putting things out there, trying things, experimenting with things, and then you're going to get your answer. But to have it all, think you're going to have it all figured out before you can do the thing, that is a lie that is going to keep you stuck for years to come, and you'll be filled with a lot of regret. And if you can't seem to get yourself out of that sticking point, you want to know what your next step is? Your next step is to get someone who has the GPS options. You know how like Waze or Google Maps gives you multiple options? That's what I am for you, in you being able to make money doing something that you love, having the freedom of time and the options, and creating a business that enhances your life, not takes away from it. We don't need to sacrifice our life in order to make great money. I want to read this to you because this is a key component in all of this that we all seem to forget sometimes, myself included. Trust. Believing in our hearts that who we are is enough is the key to a more satisfying and balanced life, says Ellen Sue Stern. I am enough. I've always been afraid of being too much or too little. What a relief I feel when I can just sit with the possibility that I am enough. Can it really be true that I am not what I do or what I produce or what I accomplish? What if I am enough and I accomplish what I want to do? Would that truly be enough? Probably. I would like a satisfying and balanced life. I would like more time and energy for my work, myself, and those I love. When I recognize that I am enough, I will have what I want and need. I will sit with this feeling of being enough and let it be with me today. So sit with that feeling. You're enough just as you are right now to have what you want. You're not going to have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. We figure it out as we go. So that lie that's keeping you stuck is that you have to have it all figured out in order to start, and it's just not true. But I understand how it feels to be stuck in that. And if you're that stuck in it, then your job, your next move, your most important move, your most crucial move, your most crucial investment that I've taken out credit cards to pay for because I couldn't get any business loans, would be to hire someone who's highly qualified to help you navigate. So go into the ProjectME Posse Business Coaching membership. That's a wonderful place to start. It's $3.33 today, a day. I can't talk today, and thank God you guys give me grace for it. But let me give you some examples of topics so you know what goes on in here. I mean, everything's on the page, but I just want you to hear topics. It's a mix of strategy plus all the money mindset stuff. So we have spring into abundance, resisting rejection, showing up even when we're attempting to procrastinate, how to get people to share your content and get in front of thousands of new clients, how to turn your story into a business that helps people. Here's another one, how to write your own self-published book and make thousands on Amazon with it. Create simple videos that get you ideal clients. The secret to removing what is blocking you from making the life-changing money you desire. I could go on and on. There's a portal that you get as a member where you get, it's like, I think it's over 300 prior live trainings you get unlimited access to, plus weekly live trainings from me and other special guest experts. Absolute last chance to get in there. The first people that are going to get first dibs for my new mastermind, which is going to only be taking a very limited number of people. You have to be either in my ProjectME Posse Business Coaching membership, be in one of my other programs, a private client, or you can also be on my free weekly digest, The Secret Posse, and you will get an email from me shortly with all the details. This is how you become a millionaire if that's what you want. This is how you have the financial freedom. This is how I don't have to answer to any person, place, thing, job, or institution. This is how I have the option to eat a $40 salad 3 days a week if I so desire. This is how I have the ability to have 2 homes, a beach home and a suburb home that has a pool. This is how I have the option of if I want to take a trip at any given moment in time, I don't have to search for the best deal unless it delights me, which sometimes it does. I can book that 5-star first class trip and I can just go because I want to go. But this all starts with you showing up and you following through and you being committed and experimenting and trying different things and being willing to see, does it stick? Does it feel good? Does it work? And massage it until it does and your purpose is in there. But don't feel like you have to have that clear in order for the money to come in order for your life to change. You don't. You'll be waiting forever. And I don't want to see that happen, not on my watch. If you love this episode, please give me a 5-star written review on Apple Podcast. You can tap the 5 stars on Spotify. That only takes you a couple seconds. If you write me a review on Apple, which is the only platform you can write a review right now, put your name or Instagram handle in the review, take a screenshot of it, and DM it to me after, obviously make sure you submit it. DM me the screenshot, and I would love to treat you to a luxuriating beverage of your choice as my way of saying thank you for showing your appreciation for the show. And if you want people to shout you out, and you want people to give you reviews, and you want people to talk about your business and you to get referrals, then you have to check yourself and see if you're doing the same for the people that give you so much. And I read each and every review. It goes a really long way. And if all you have time to do right now is tap the 5 stars on any of the platforms, that's also greatly appreciated. Share this episode with someone who's stuck in it, who feels lost, who feels like everyone has it together except them, and they don't know what to do, and they're growing more and more discouraged by the day. This is the episode that they need to hear, and trust that that person came up right to the top of your mind for a reason, and don't hesitate. Send it to them, because this is the very thing that can change their life. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.